about certain attitudes of ours. And would you be happy about it?
Yeah.
If I were a boy,
we gave you time last week, to tell us everything about it.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Yes. So last week we told you.
Yeah.
We told you the things that you need to unlearn about us, and then our guests that were here last week. The main thing that was reiterated throughout the entire show was that a no is a no, a maybe is a no, until it's a yes from us. It's one thing that a lot of men confuse. When we say no, you think that, our mannerisms or our behaviors or our gestures are showing otherwise. So you still go ahead and do whatever. But our mouths have said no. You don't want to agree that we said no.
There's one thing saying no and another thing acting no.
What are you saying?
If you say no and you're not acting no.
No, but you've asked me something and I've said no.
So you act
So why can't
no.
you just say
Some will
take
say
it?
no. Okay, not all of them. Some will say no and will be acting yes. Prof, Adilai.
The truth.
So we have our guest in the house. Yes, our guest. He's no stranger to us. He's been here before on Let's Talk Relationship, and he's here again. Our guest this morning for Let's Talk Relationship is Prophet Echo Daniels, and he is the overseer of Raw Time Ministries. And aren't you the overseer?
That's right. That's
You are
right.
the overseer.
We've got an overseer in the house. Yeah, behave yourselves.
Yes,
But it's good to see you, bro.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. God bless you all.
Oh, God bless you too. And we are going to have two more guests for us to join us via Zoom in the course of their conversations. And so they are both men as well. So today I'm the only lady. Hey, Arehu. You people should spare me.
Just bribe me. I'm good at becoming a lady at a point, so just bribe me. I'll be on your side.
So today's conversation is what women need to unlearn from the perspective of the man. What we women need to unlearn from your perspective. I know that there are a whole lot of things that you wish you would communicate. One sad thing is that with men, it's very difficult for you to voice out your emotions. Am I right? You mostly keep it inside of you. You mostly just.
It's a
I
matter
think if he gave us away, he said that sometimes when it's quiet, the wife will be asking too many questions about why is he quiet.
Yeah.
Sometimes when he's quiet, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with him. So yeah, the emotion.
You just want to think, or you just want to be.
At times you just want to be on yourself without saying a word. It doesn't mean there's something really wrong with you. You just feel that you want to be by yourself, and the women get super worried about that sometimes.
Does it happen with you and your wife?
Thank you very much again for having me. So, just like my brother is saying, the emotions of men and how they are expressed are totally different from how women express their emotions. You understand? So, a man would want to contain a lot, and it takes a lot for a man to voice out. Finally, and I know from my perspective that even from my experience that men go through a lot, a lot of emotional damages as well. But we are just good at managing it. We are just good at enveloping it. You understand? So yes, of course, in marriage, it goes through every marriage. There are times like Fifi will say, I would want to be quiet. Maybe I'm thinking about years ahead of now, what will happen, the kids, the family, sustainability. A lot happens in the thought patterns of men that you people don't understand.
So when you're quiet, what do you want us to do? Just sit down and just be watching you, or just go about doing our own thing, not mind you, not bother you?
No, you see, you need to understand the kind of man you are with. Every man is different. You understand? No two men are the same. So there are men who also talk, who like to voice out their anger, their frustrations. There are men like that. In fact, I think that today, most men are learning to voice out their emotions. You understand? They realize that it's not always going to be a good heaven if you keep things in you. It breaks them. From where I sit, I have men come to me and open up, and their stories are terrible. But they can't tell people because they feel like, oh, you are weak when you express your emotions as a man. You are not a man. you know, and that's not true, you know. So men are gradually learning to expose their emotions, but I like it when I contain my emotions. For me,
Really?
yeah, personally, I hardly will express anything.
What does it do to you?
I think it keeps me in check. You know, the society we live in, people take advantage of people who are emotional.
That's true.
People take advantage of people who express their emotions, and then it becomes something they become vulnerable to, and then they use it as a weapon against you. So there are a lot of emotional blackmails, you know, in the hearts of people, and so you would need to be emotionally very intelligent in life. You will need to be able to, you know, master your emotions. I've always said on various platforms that if you make decisions on your emotions, you may never be successful.
Okay.
You understand? Because people are always looking at your weaker side to hit, you know, and then they coin a whole lot of, you know, stories around it, and then you are always at the backside, you know, and then they are controlling affairs, you know. So it's intelligent and it's proper. Your emotions are not intelligent as well. You can check your relationships in the past, unless maybe you've just had one.
Yes.
I disagree.
Why,
but it's okay.
What's your problem?
I disagree. But
What's
it's
your problem?
okay. I mean,
Why would you disagree?
I've counted 5. Yeah, here's something else. Okay.
Right. So let's get into it. I believe, KMJ, you also have a list of things you would want to, you know, put bare
No,
when it comes to things that we have to unlearn. Prophet Eko, you also have a list, I believe.
Oh yeah,
a list of things.
No, I don't think it's a list of things. I think it's something women should probably understand.
Yeah.
You know, from a man's perspective, you know.
Even if it's one, because you see, whoever that you are with, eventually will determine how you are able to also put yourself in the person's shoes when you're living with a person. So it's a give and take kind of a thing.
Okay.
So there are certain women who would say that I do not need to really have to learn anything about this guy or really have to be observing this guy for anything. The others who
Just
would say
go with
that
the flow.
The others who would say that, oh, I've observed him and this is how he is, so I try as much as possible to stick to that. Was it yesterday or so? I saw a friend of mine's feed on social media listing things that he feels that women should know about him.
Okay.
You understand? And this person writes and adds that if we're testing and there's no call from my end, you shouldn't have to call. No, there's a reason. And the reason is that it's not as if he doesn't have credit to call you, or if you want to talk about a certain subject, he can't call you and talk about it. But he feels like he's comfortable testing you
Instead
on
of
that
calling.
conversation than calling you. And you would want to understand it from his point of view. But some women will feel like, why can't we talk about this?
Like how she just did.
Exactly. You know, and if you may have issues with a man like that if you're not careful. So you end up making it look like the man is the bad man.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure you've seen stories like that come up several
times. No, well, I think that it's proper to learn to unlearn. You see, and if I take it to...
Let's hold on. So our guest has joined us via Zoom. Good morning, Prosper. That is Prosper Michael Ametu, creative writer and researcher at KYB Consulting. Good morning. Prosper, can you please unmute so we can hear you?
Prosper, can you please unmute so we can hear you? Good morning, am I audible?
Okay, how are you doing, Prosper?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Oh, we are great. I'm great. Unfortunately, I'm sandwiched by these gentlemen. My guest, Prophet Eko Daniels, is seated here with me. My co-host, KMJ, is also here. And the topic for discussion today is what women need to unlearn from the perspective of a man. That is what we are discussing today.
Yeah, that's nice.
So tell us what...
Wonderful. I think there's a lot to be offloaded.
Yeah, we are listening.
Yeah, so generally, I think that the bulk of the discussion is going to have to revolve around how women have been socially conditioned to act in a certain way without realizing the effect that it has on men and how men generally would typically respond to it, because more often than not, we are told that it's expected of women to act in a certain way, but we are in a fast-paced community where everything is changing. The rules of engagement are constantly evolving. The things that we consider right and the things that we consider wrong are constantly in conflict. So there is going to be a lot that needs to be unlearned. There's a lot that needs to be relearned and revisited.
We have a lot of work to do.
Yes, basically.
The way you are stressing on there, a lot. We have a lot to do then.
Yeah, because it's a lot. On both ends, it's a lot. For guys, it's a lot. For ladies, it's a lot.
Okay.
And I think conversations of this nature are the only tool with which we can find middle ground. So this is wonderful.
Right. Okay. So Prosper is representing the Gen Zs. So we are doing our very best to take the perspectives from all areas. And Prophet Echo is going to take us to the biblical level.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. So Prosper Kemjo, what?
Yeah, I want to find out, Prof. Are there biblical backings to how a man or a woman, or for example, for purposes of what we're looking at today, how women over the period, over the years, biblically, have been able to understand the kind of man God has given them. And so they feel God has put this man in a certain position. I mean, if you want to talk about David, Joseph, and all of those people, God has put them in a certain position where they feel it's God's doing. And so they need to understand whatever God has given to them and whatever they are also, giving them as their men, the men that they are married to or they are with.
So you see, no man after the flesh, saith the word, and then also I can tell you that you don't know anybody until you marry them.
Oh, okay.
That's why you have people having a very long relationship in terms of dating for 6 years, 7 years. They marry and 3 months they are divorced. They marry and 1 year they are divorced, and you are thinking, what happened?
But they've dated for a while.
For a very long time, and everything seemed to be very okay.
Yeah.
You see, there's something that we call anointing that is in the office of marriage. So it's not on anybody who gets married. It's in the office of marriage. So if you enter the room of Joy Prime, now you get exposed by the oil of Joy Prime. Maybe you have to sit here. You have to behave like this. That's the system of Joy Prime when you enter in. So in marriage, when you enter into marriage, then the anointing exposes both of you. So for example, if he's a thief, it becomes exposed.
Okay.
Nothing is hidden. So you learn to understand the person that you have agreed to spend the rest of your life with. It's the most hardest work in life, marriage. To understand the character, the nature of the person. So yeah, people marry 30 years and they still divorce. 20 years. They were marriage counselors. There are people who have divorced today who were marriage counselors and wrote books. You've heard some of the stories.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next minute.
Megan Good and Devin Franklin, for instance.
Exactly. And then the next minute they are divorced. Yeah. So you see, it's an everything. People evolve. Orientations and socializations of people form the perception they have. You understand? So as you're growing, you need to understand that there's no character or attitude that is static. Everything is subject to change. Like our brother said, we live in a very fast-paced world now. So you need to understand that with my wife, you need to understand that 5 years from now, Lady Sheila would not be the same. 5 years from now, Echo would not be the same. So you need to understand and tune your mind to that possible growth. There are times that you realize maybe Isidro is married to KMG. And
Amen. You didn't say amen.
Prophet, what's an example?
No, I'm just saying.
Our wedding is coming.
And you see, and then you realize that you marry the man. Initial stages, perhaps, he had a certain job that brings him home at 6 p.m. Then he gets busy. He's coming home at 10 p.m. Then he gets busy. He's probably coming home at 12 a.m. The same man getting a lot of other opportunities.
Okay.
So the character would not even be the same in terms of job. He has to understand and find a way to still keep his family and keep business going. You have to understand that if you had him for 12 hours initially, maybe now you're going to have him for 6 hours. Maybe the next minute you're going to have him for 3 hours. He's not changed. Things are changing.
So as a woman, we just need to learn to readjust our thinking ourselves.
Yes. You know, you have to just understand the growth of time, not just for women, but even for
men as well.
For both of the parties. You need to understand that it's not just for a woman can be in a very powerful position where she's busy. You understand? And even sexually, it comes in play as well. You know, maybe when you get married, there's not too much work, so you can have sex like 6 hours and enjoy yourself. When the kids come in, it's a different ballgame.
That's another issue, yeah.
You know, it's a different ballgame when you have kids. You know, it's a different whole system when the finances are low, when the finances are high. So it takes a lot of education. So the Bible will tell you that dwell with women, with men. The Bible says, dwell with women in knowledge. You understand? Learn about your partner. Study them. Bible says that study so that you show yourself approved before God. So a workmanship who does not need to be ashamed. You need to study the partner, their patterns. His emotions will never be the same 5 years from today.
Right.
10 years from today, he'll be a completely different man. You understand? And then in a society, you may look at him and say, hey, you're not so abasu. You know, we form a whole lot of perception about people. You know, before maybe he was not the way he is today. He has advanced himself. Hey, you see the girl or two no, she send you see dress it. Her job is calling for her to behave like that. You understand? So we need to learn. We need to understand that there's so much more to know.
Right.
There's so much more to know.
Okay, right. So let's go on Zoom. Prosper. Hello, Prosper.
Hello, Prosper. Yeah, hello.
Right. Okay. So earlier you were talking about a lot of things that need to be done from both sexes. Now let's come to the list that you have that you wish you put out there for women to unlearn when it comes to you men. Tell us some of them.
On top of it all is responsibility. Right now, there's a new trend that women have rights, which is actually true. Women have things that they deserve to get from relationships. And this makes complete sense because they are equally a party to the relationship. However, with rights always come responsibilities. So when you say that as a woman, we need to accept that you deserve to have more say within the relationship, you need to equally understand that comes with consequence. So you need to sign up to doing more. So you say you're a feminist, you want us to respect your views, respect your opinions. That's true, that's valid. However, in the same vein, you should equally understand that when the responsibility for things like paying bills comes up, when you go out for a date, when you go out for functions and whatnot, it's equally expected that you are going to take up a portion of the responsibility that comes either financially or comes in any manner it could probably emanate. There is a lot of controversy because a number of women want to have their cake and eat it. So I want to be in a relationship with a man that is feminist and agrees that I should be able to get away with certain things. But I do not want to pay any bills. I want to be a feminist and I want to be able to demand that this is what I want or that is what I want. But they, in the same vein, do not want to sign up for any responsibility. I think that because of that, a lot of young folks, a lot of young individuals are constantly in conflict as to what they think is expected of them or is expected of their partners within relationships. This is something that I think needs to change because with the very admission of the fact that you deserve to be treated right, you need to equally understand that in that same vein, you need to accept responsibilities that's going to take off the weight of your partners, of a number of young men in society, because men have socially been conditioned that your only worth comes from what you can offer. And it is very difficult to be able to keep up with that standard in a world where everybody is struggling to get to the top. I think this is something that majorly needs to be improved upon from the perspective of women, like in general. And I think it's something that a lot of young folks like myself constantly grapple with.
Okay.
Prof, so on the back of this, what he just said, responsibility as against what women want. Okay, so I don't want to go to the usual cliche of what they bring to the table before we start getting into another trouble.
One question that annoys us. What do you bring to the table?
There you go. But I mean, let's look at it. I mean, so let's look at it from this angle. we know that there have been women, and then again, we're going to go into the Bible. We know we have had women who have been there for men in certain instances, in telling the Bible story and all of that. Now, we have a crop of women who believe that whatever it is, I am supposed to have this. And if I say I need this, I need it. Some does not even want to let it come with responsibility. They just want it. And that's the kind of generation that we're having right now. Before, it was not like that. Maybe you want to just, explain things to us a bit on that aspect of life and how women see things.
So I would want to believe that I was having a conversation a few days ago, and I was telling a couple of people that, you see, sometimes this westernization thing, it has an effect in our own culture. Every group of people have their own standards. They have their own culture. They have a way of life, you see. So when you try to adopt someone else's culture into yours, it becomes a problem. So in our setting, there is a way we expect women to be. So our mothers, our grandmothers are typical example. I believe that's what you mean by before. It wasn't like that. So our grandmothers, or our great grandmothers had a certain perception when it comes to marriage. You understand? The subject of submissiveness. They understood it from another angle. Today, the subject of being submissive is totally different. You understand? Where the woman also feels that, like the man was saying, I have a right. You cannot tell me to sit. But biblically, proper submission, even by all culture, means that you have an option and you choose not to take it.
Okay.
That's proper submission. So for example, KMJ and Esiedu are married again. And then Esiedu has her own car to drive. She has her own money. She has a good job. She can travel. You understand? And then KMJ says, I don't need you to travel at this time because of the family, because of one or two things that are going to help the family. And then you have the option to travel. But you say, because of my husband has spoken, I won't travel.
Right.
That's proper submission.
Okay.
I agree.
That's proper submission.
Yeah.
That's when you have an option to take and you decide not to take because of honoring him.
And he's not compelling me or forcing me.
No, he's not forcing you at all. But by honor, by relationship, by knowing him, you realize that I don't want to take that option. My husband has spoken. The same way the wife says that, I don't need you to have association with this kind of people. These people from where, and you see, normally our wives see far than what we see as men. So they can tell you that this association can destroy you. And then you have the option to still keep the association. But for the respect of your wife, you move away. You understand? So before, that's the system of submission that is, I believe, is missing now.
Okay.
We think that submission today is, I have my rights, I will go. Even if you say I shouldn't go, I will go. I think it's because we've adopted.
You can't say for my happiness. I have my rights. This is what I say I will do.
It sounds like you understand it.
I get it.
So it looks like we've adopted certain movie cultures, certain fictional cultures. We think it's real. We think that this is how it should be. But that never gives peace. If you enter every home who behaves like that and they truly are opening up to you, there's no peace.
Can we come to what Prosper mentioned in relation to the responsibilities? That's okay, you are aware that this is what the man is doing. But at the end of the day, because the man knows that this is the kind of work that you do, you're earning a living, you are getting some monies here and there. I'm expecting as a man that you would also meet me halfway when it comes to certain things like paying bills. It looks like this generation is super concerned about splitting responsibilities with their partners.
So you see, the culture of responsibility is understanding. I don't have to adopt somebody's system in their marital home.
Okay.
You understand? I don't have to adopt somebody's style just because it's working for them. It has to be a system of understanding that works for us. It's about us, two of you, your family. I don't like to use a lot of examples. It's about what works for you. If what works for you is that at the end of the day, the wife pays 70-30, it's nobody's business. Okay. If at the end of the day, what works for the family is the man pays 70-30, it's nobody's problem. What is it that can work for the family that both of you can be comfortable with?
Okay.
That none of you will feel used, will feel pressured. You understand? So it's not a thing of, or say no chop money, say, they give this amount of money, this friend gives 50 cedis, this friend gives 20. That's the same thing, adapting somebody's culture into your home. Responsibilities differ. I may have a job that pays me 1,000. My wife may have a job that pays 5,000. Is it reasonable that I use all my 1,000 to pay all the bills because I'm a man? And then the wife keeps her money because she's the woman. You understand?
Yeah.
Or the man takes 5,000. The woman takes 500. Then what we have to pressure the woman to still, pay bills because it's neither here or there. Just understand your partner. Understand the financial culture of the marriage.
Right.
Understand the vision of the marriage and where you're going. Understand even financial investment, where you want to see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You understand? Then you can properly plan. A system that works for you is what you should stick to. Nothing like, this is the problem we have. Taking somebody's, KMG has a very different style of managing his home.
Yeah.
Then I compare him to myself. The Bible says that comparing yourself to someone else is a very silly thing to do, excuse me to say. You don't compare yourself. You understand? You do what works for you in your home. No two marriages are the same.
Right.
Unfortunately, on social media, we project a whole different picture. To the home, as a counselor in my office, where I sit, the very people who are insulting each other are the very people posting lovely pictures. You understand?
Yeah.
I have people come to me, insult their husband, insult their wife. The next minute, they are posting very lovely messages. You're just hurting yourself. You are bothering yourself. You're not faking to hurt anybody.
Right.
It's your own problem. Rather than doing that, sit in your home and find a common ground that works for you. Don't compare.
Yeah.
That is the problem. Don't compare.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Prophet Eko, you're going to give us your list because you've not given us your list yet.
As for my list, it's a dangerous list.
For those of you who watched the intro, KMJ's list is deadly. So, Prosper, you started off by mentioning, KMJ's. Our WhatsApp line is active now. So, our dear gentlemen out there, please send your list of things that you would want we women to unlearn when it comes to you. Okay, send it to our WhatsApp line, and we are going to read it.
Yeah.
I'm interested in
your girlfriend might be watching.
Yeah. Make sure you add your name.
Add
your full name.
So they get to know that you are talking about them.
Exactly.
You're ready.
Right, so we are going to come to you, Prophet Eko, but then, Prosper, Kenny, you've mentioned one on your list. Let's move on. Give us about 3 more on your list.
So I think another thing that tends to be a problem is equally the issue of codependency. So a number of women have been taught right from childhood to aspire to marriage, aspire to become a wife. So because of that, they tend to have this expectation of everything coming together when they finally get married, but hoping that their partners, which are the men, rather would have everything coming together before they get married. This generally creates a tension between what men are expected to present to the table before marriage and what women are expected to present to the table before marriage. But again, for many Gen Zs like myself, it is really, really hard trying to sort everything out.
Yeah.
So if you are in a situation or a partnership where you are expected to have your life sorted out, but your partner is expected to depend on your you figuring everything out for them to figure everything out, it becomes a little imbalanced in that situation. And this generally is something I think every person should be more conscious of, because any women are told when you get married, everything comes together. But it's not like that. You are supposed to equally try to figure things out before marriage.
For yourself.
But secondly, I think that a major problem again that I have faced myself, and I think a lot of other people my age in their 20s equally face, is the very thing the very thing Pastor was talking about, the thing about like comparisons. Because on social media, there are a lot of people who make it seem as though it is simple, everything is going great, there is no difficulty in their relationships. And social media is grounds for where a lot of young guys like myself tend to view life as playing out. Some people present things as though that is how their life is on a regular. You see people going out on dates every day. You see them posting nice pictures. You see them giving them, there's this new trend of money bouquets.
Prosper, after that one, don't worry, because Bank of Ghana is actually coming after them. So you don't have to worry about them.
You have no idea how excited some of us are.
There's a ban that has been placed on them that money cannot be used in that manner, so you are good. Okay?
Yeah. Long overdue. For what?
It's long overdue. It's long overdue because it is very, very frustrating when someone expects a money bouquet and I'm sending you Momo of 100 cities. So I think, like, generally, the expectations need to be capped and placed within a framework of who you are with, instead of comparing it to who other people are with, because that comparison, like, issue, it becomes very, very fundamental to young folks like myself. Because indeed, some people, like, get it right from the get-go, but other people have more difficult paths ahead of them. And there needs to be a lot more empathy as to how things play out. I think lastly, relationships with men is one that needs to happen on grounds of acknowledgement that my world is not always going to revolve around you. And that's what a lot of women fail to acknowledge in their young age. Because if I'm with a partner and that person thinks that everything I do invariably is because, oh, she had some small arguments with me yesterday, so today I'm on Twitter saying I am angry, it means that, oh,
it is about her
ranting on social media. No, it could be because my thesis for my master's is not going as great as I expected it to. It could be of anything of that nature. So that's assumption. And that's eventually even leads me to the last thing on my list. Communication always happens when everybody speaks what's in their mind. There's a issue when women constantly expect you to do things without saying it. They go, oh, I thought you would know. I expected you to understand that this is how I like it. I don't know. I need you to tell me. And this is something that a lot of people always grapple with, because I can't read your mind. It's difficult understanding exactly how things work. But there's constantly, like, an appreciation of people who repeatedly go like, I expected him to know this, I expected him to know that. In as much as this is something that probably might come off as you continue being in a relationship as a young person moving on, at the start and even in the long term, at some points, we need people to be vocal. And it could be that because a lot of women right from childhood have been socialized by our society to be more silent, it becomes difficult for them to be vocal in relationships. But I think a lot of men my age would appreciate a more vocal partner. At least let's be vocal indoors. Tell me what you want and tell me what your expectations are. If I cannot meet up to them, if I cannot level up, I'll be open enough to communicate to you that I cannot level up. Let's negotiate. Let's find middle ground. But that art of communication seems to be something that is difficult to build right now, because it's either the expectations are so high and the woman does not want to negotiate, or there is no communication of what those expectations are. And eventually you are told that you are failing as a man within a relationship or within a partnership. And that does not seem to work in the long term, because that fundamental function that communication is supposed to play is always left to go haywire. And I think that it constantly begs the question of, what should I do? How do I make it up to this person? And at some point, we need to be more charitable with men. We need to be more charitable with young men specifically, because it's hard.
It's hard, eh? Prosper.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Prosper says it's hard.
I mean, and Prosper, this is real quick. So there are other school of thoughts that believe that the men today, or the Gen Z, if you like, are exposed to so many things. And so it's quite impossible for the women to know where exactly you're headed in terms of your dreams and what you want for yourself. So in as much as they want to help.
Yeah, because we want to see that you're heading somewhere. You've made a move towards something,
Exactly.
a goal.
Before
we can say, okay, yeah, we can support you. We can be there for you.
Yeah, but you're not making it definite enough for them.
Exactly.
Because there's so much happening
you're
around
not seeing
you.
the way. It's
and
cloudy.
so they feel like, where do I even help you from? Where do I even start? You know, because in the first place, you are just cluttered with so many things because of maybe social media. You make a decision on this today, the next day you're making a decision on something else. So the woman who's supposed to be naturally be a helper does not even know where you're headed.
Yeah, I think that's a valid critique to make, but I don't think it is because young men do not want to find out what their center is. I think it's because right now your center is never definite because there is no real center. Yesterday, I came into the university hoping to become a policy analyst. But today, after this call, I'm going to continue learning how to code, which was never part of my plans. Because right now, the biggest thing is to become a tech bro and to make money out of tech.
Okay.
Probably that's in a couple of years, that might become obsolete. And I equally have to adjust. The problem there is that we are constantly forced to adapt to our environment as young men, especially young men who are not given all the tools they want. If I probably did medicine, I would not be constantly changing my focus, constantly trying out new things. If I did law, I would not be changing what my desires are, what my dreams are. But I constantly have to balance my dreams with the reality of what is on the table for me. Because whether or not I am pursuing my dreams, you still would want me to take you out for dinner. Whether or not I am pursuing my dreams, on your birthday, you want me to give you a flashy gift that you can tell your friends. You bought this for me. So you need to find that middle ground and understand that young men are going to always have a change of plans because society is not structured in a way where you pick one thing and you go with it and nothing ever changes. We are forced to adapt. We are forced to change.
Okay.
And if constantly is something we have to struggle with, you equally need to understand that the best thing you can offer are words of affirmation. It would be fine. You do great. Alternative viewpoints. Present them in a reasonable manner. Do not demean me. I do not. I was sitting start coding because I just wanted to start coding. It's not because it's a trend.
It's not easy.
It's important that people are more empathetic in how they engage with young men and how they particularly structure their conversations with them. Because
we've heard you.
Find our path, and you need to understand that.
We've heard you.
I think I agree to a large extent today. Adapting, yes, there's so many people who have gone to university to learn certain, courses, and they've come out differently. I mean, no two ways about it. Maybe at a point in time, the girlfriend or whoever that the person was with was even confused because really, you said you were going for this. So I also planned myself that this is how I want to.
So do you even know what you want to do with your life?
No,
that's
the environment, and that's why he's saying that the environment is not even making it easier for them to, stick to a certain plan. You may plan that, okay, in the next 3 years, I want to become this and eventually move to this. But before you even finish it, something else is pressuring you to do something else because your friends are telling you that cryptocurrency is the thing. You want to just switch. You get it? And Prof, I know this is natural for humans to make decisions on the fact that, okay, I've decided this, but I feel that there's a need for me to make this. It doesn't mean that a woman should sit back and say, I don't know your plan. I don't know where you're headed in life. And so it means that I can't support you, or even if I'm supporting you,
Prosper says you guys want words of affirmation. So,
but that is one thing that women are not even given. No, let's be honest. There are certain women, instead of telling you that, so that's the plan. Then I asked for this plan. I know that one didn't work. This one didn't work. What am I supposed to do to make sure that this new one works? They rather be, now you What you don't know what to do in your life? Like today you are this, tomorrow you are that. They even end up making it look like your lifestyle is your career life. So when something small happens in the relationship, it's I knew it. It's because your career is not even straight. Your life is
true. It's true.
You know,
it's true. It's true.
I think women should understand this.
I think that you see, women love clarity. You know, the Bible says that many are the plans of a man, but only the purpose of the Lord shall stand. It is proper. Prosper has spoken a lot. I think he's quite an emotional man.
Yeah. He got me emotional at some point. Look at him.
From what we have got into,
I think it's an
the women have made it even worse. And I understand
I think he's an emotional man. You see, Prosper, one thing I would tell my brother, you see, when you read Proverbs chapter 4, you know, one thing that has helped my life is to be clear with your purpose in life. You see, once you are clear with your purpose in life, it helps you have clarity in everything you do, including even your partner. Your visions and your purposes, it may be difficult in the beginning, and it's always difficult trying to walk the purposes of God. But believe you me, if you realize your purpose quite early and you stick to the principles of that purpose, environment cannot affect you. The environment will never be conducive for everybody. It will never be conducive. The system will keep getting tougher. You understand?
Yeah.
But you see, if you find your purpose in this life, you are always able to maneuver your way around it. Believe me. You know, I've known you for about 6, 7, 8 years. I've been watching you for a very long time. You know, I even know where you used to live.
Oh.
Yeah, on the wager stretch as well. You're surprised.
Oh, yeah.
You see.
No, it's God revealing to him, don't worry. Prophet has gone into the realm.
So let me tell you something. When you are stuck with your purpose, in the times when you were interviewing the queen and all that, you love what you're doing. You've stuck with this purpose. The environment has not been very pleasing to you. Yeah. But purpose has kept you going.
Exactly, that's it.
You understand? Yeah. And if there's a woman with you, the woman will understand that this is clear for what KMJ wants to do. Aside every other thing, there is something pivotal in his life. You know, so you can do some other things, but there must be something pivotal in your life that the woman is clear about. Okay. Woman loves clarity. She wants to know this is where this gentleman wants to go. Yeah. Aside any other thing. You may be doing some pack to, you know, try and make ends meet, but the vision is clear. He wants to be a man of God. But at the time, maybe he's been a teacher. The vision is clear. He wants to be into media. He wants to be an actor. He wants to be, you know, a businessman. It is clear. So when you have these things, and the other thing is that communication is proper. It's key. I heard my brother say again that we must be able to communicate. I always tell people that don't assume you know anybody.
Have you started your list already?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
You know, don't.
That issue of communication.
Yeah, rather than unlearn, I think I would rather talk about things to learn. You know, things that we should learn, and which I just spoke about. Purpose is one of them. You know, and then communication is key. Don't think you know anybody. It doesn't matter if you're married to them. Learn to communicate. Learn to make people understand that this is who I am. If your partner is falling short in an area, learn to teach them. You understand? It's communication. It comes with examples. It comes with practicals. It's very proper. But that's what prosper means. You know, so if you assume that, oh, I expect him to do that, he probably doesn't know. His orientation and your orientation are two different things. How I grew up is not the same way KMG grew up. You understand? Yeah. And so my understanding to certain things of life can never be like his. And his can never be like mine. Right. You understand? And so if, for example, if a lady was to date both of us, she would realize two different environments, two different worlds. You understand? And so communication would help you to understand that all men are not the same. you know, all women are not the same. Yeah. Our socialization forms our thought patterns as well. You know, so you want to know that the friends she's moving with, where she's schooled, you know, her kind of, you know, Wesley girls people. There's a way they think, you know.
Really, did you have to?
Infantaman. Oh no, I wasn't only going to say Wesley girls.
Okay.
Infantaman ladies. There's a way they think.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to just understand that people are not always going to be the same. Then the next thing is that lower your expectations. Prosper mentioned something about social media. I can tell you, these things you see on social media, what we see, it's never real. You know, people love it when they are tormenting people with fakery. I'm telling you, people love it when they are tormenting people with fakery. The same person who just left my office or my house complaining bitterly about financial stuff is the same person standing by a certain car, standing in a certain hotel, posting some very powerful pictures. And you are thinking, what's this about? See the way he's smiling. and then the gentleman is pressured because of social media. The lady is pressured. Oh, you know, my friend's boyfriend took him to this place and they had dinner at that place. It's never real. So learn to lower expectation. And the last thing I'll say is that be Ghanaian. Be Ghanaian.
Okay.
Learn to be Ghanaian. You are a Ghanaian. Eye fantinya, eye fantinya.
Yeah.
Eye chinya, eye chinyi. Learn to understand your culture. This is who you are. Trying to be some British, some American, you know, some culture that you are not. You've probably not even traveled there before. People speak Lafa a lot, you know, Lafa. You know, people.
And it affects a lot of relationships.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
You know.
The Lafa affects it.
No, the wanting to be from a certain part of the
No, but
world.
even the Lafa defines the state of
where
your
you're
heart.
coming from, yeah.
If you speak Lafa, it defines the state of your heart. That is not you.
Yeah.
You are somebody who loves to fake. You understand? So be Ghanaian. There's a way, I have a problem with people who pretend. There's a way Ghanaians behave. There's a way Ghanaians think. There's a way a Ghanaian woman is. There's a way a Ghanaian man is. We've had peace with our parents before. We've had peace with our grandparents. Nothing, you know, you can modify the situation rather than crippling it. You understand? So let's be ourselves. It's not, everything is not, you know, if it was in the West or if, you know the problems they also have. You know, let's be Ghanaian. Learn to be Ghanaian. Be who you are. Understand your culture. If due to, you know, modernization, you can modify it in a way that still sits well with being a Ghanaian. You understand? That's why for me, for example, I changed my name to Echo because people will used to, you know, think I'm not even Ghanaian. But I love to be Ghanaian. I love to be called Echo because I want to be identified as a Ghanaian.
Yeah.
You know, so if we understand a couple of these things I've mentioned, you cannot have a tall, stagnant list, I think, for everybody. Time evolves. Like I said, what you are today and you call a list today, a day will come, you're going to get married. You're going to have kids. That list can totally be wiped out.
Yeah.
You understand? Then what do you say? You have to revisit the list again. I normally have problems to say when, you know, in the beginning of the year, they have this New Year resolution and they write their plans. You pressure yourself. Be sure that the things you're writing sit well in the systems of God, so you don't depress yourself.
Yeah, when things are not happening the way you want. That's true.
So you can write up your plans and say, oh, I mean, in December, I want to own a car, I want to own a blah, you know. That's the plans of a man. But the purposes of the Lord might be different.
Right.
Maybe the Lord is asking that you build capacity. Do you know that? Or you think you have to have a car. You know, so that if the car doesn't realize, oh, then it's the government, it's my friends are wicked, you know, everybody, you know, then you are blaming everybody and everything around you. My dear, take time, be patient in life. You know, it's about patience, perseverance, you know, it's being steadfast in life. Take your time. A time will come, growth and exposure will naturally come by the time that you build your capacity. There's always an opportunity beckoning. You understand? It just you know, dawns on us that maybe it doesn't dawn on us that we need to build enough capacity. I hear Prosper say, oh, right now he has gotten another opportunity of being an IT you know, person. So just build capacity. But like I can tell Prosper as well, find your purpose in this life. There is a reason you are on earth. There is a reason you are alive today. there is a reason 5 years from now God wants you to be alive. That's purpose. You should find it. What is that thing that you are here to do?
Okay.
You know, it gives you peace. It gives you that sense of not being competitive. No, don't compete with anybody.
Right.
Don't compare yourself and compete with anybody. Let them go. We are coming.
Yeah.
And the women should also know that when we have the purpose and we are focusing on the purpose, they should allow us to focus on the purpose. Sometimes. Why?
Okay. But okay, so we've been joined via Zoom by Nana Asase. Nana, can you please unmute so we can hear you?
Nana is joining us a bit late. He was very busy with the gods. And I understand our ancestors needed his presence as well. So he had to just take time to see, be with our ancestors a bit, just commute a bit. So forgive him for joining us a bit late. Nana, how are you doing?
Very well, by God's grace. How about you?
We're very well. Thanks for joining us this morning here on the show. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we've had a long conversation. In fact, we're just wrapping up, but we're looking at the various lists from all of us over here. I've spoken to you about mine. Prophet has done so same. Prosper, yeah, you know me today. The Jesse one saw in the assignment. It's all good. We want to know your list. You know what you think women have to learn to unlearn about you.
Women have to learn about men.
Yes, about men.
Men.
Okay. So let me greet all our viewers and your people and everybody in the studio. I think I'd like to take off from the last point that Counselor made about the fact that we're Ghanaian. We are a particular group of people. That is why we are Ghana, and we are all the various groupings that we are. God respects our culture. And he has a reason why he made us, the people that we are, specific people we are. He has specific reasons why he did not make us anything we are not. Yeah. So, woman, take note. Every man is a nation. If I'm Christian, so I'll take you into the Bible. Every man is a nation. Israel, we know today, was just one man. Out of that, we had so many other people, coming out the line. And so, woman, if a man, a good man, let me say a good man, a godly man comes into your life, take note. God has brought you a nation, which is a seed which he is planting in your life. If you water it well, it will grow. When it grows, it becomes a tree. Everybody benefits from it. But who watered that tree? Who nurtured that tree? Woman, it was you. There is a story in the Bible, in the book of Esther, where we have Haman. His name is Haman the Agagite, wanting to persecute Mordecai and all of Israel. It was just a simple case. According to history, when God sent Saul to go destroy the Amalekites, so King Agag of the Amalekites' wife, when someone killed King Agag, his wife was pregnant. She escaped into the desert. Years later, she delivers this baby, so they become the Agagites from the line of King Agag. So it was when Haman found out that, wow, it is these Israelites again who killed my father, my line before, then he needs to avenge. The mother had poisoned the young man, had fed the story down the line, way down the line. What did it take to save the nation? Another woman in that. So when you are in that nation's life, when you are in a man's life, woman, you are a very powerful instrument. What happened to perversity? The thing of arrogance, the thing of pride. Woman, please know your place. According to the king, the woman was his most valued treasure. He really treasured her. Otherwise, he would not have given her that stature of when everybody was seated. Now he wanted them to see it. He was not objectifying the woman. Woman, you are more than an object. So when you meet a man who places the kind of value you deserve on you learn to respect it.
Okay.
Learn to respect it. And so, woman, you are not an object. Two, there's a reason why God says the man is the head, the woman is the neck. Without the neck, I'll give you an example. Where will the head sit? And so the neck is equally important in playing its role as the head is in playing its role. So, woman, once you know these forces at your disposal, you realize that you're a very powerful entity. Now, in the ancient kingdom of Benin, when a king died and they installed a new king, typically which would be his son, they would kill the old queen because they didn't want anybody who would control the son. But they knew that definitely the mother had that kind of capacity to influence the son. To control the son. And so they typically would kill the old queen. So it was one Obaseki who changed this. Do you know?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
We're following.
We are following.
Who changed to this? If the woman did not wield so much power, women are kingmakers when you come into our custom. Women are landowners when you get into several customs, even here in this country. Young woman, get to know your custom, get to know your culture, get to know who a woman is and the influence she wields. And so please, when you get to know the power you wield, I don't think you would want to be like a man.
Okay,
Because
so right.
Sorry, I'm sorry I couldn't come in early. There's so much. And two, please do not gauge a man by how much he earns or whatever materialistic thing he owns.
Right.
Look at the content in a person. Look at the purpose a person has. That is how you are able to determine the quality of the human being he is.
Okay.
Otherwise, woman, you miss the point. If you choose to objectify yourself, you also find men who are willing, who have the money, and they will objectify you very well.
Yeah.
At the long run, you realize whatever you might have missed on. My final word to you, peace of mind is not for sale.
Okay.
Look for a human being who respects you, a man who respects you. When you find a man who has his head screwed on straight, he respects you, your emotions, your spirituality, your finances. He respects what an independent and a strong woman is. Believes that every woman deserves that place to grow. And be a place where you grow. Vice versa, I believe in the left taking care of the right, the right taking care of the left, the entirety, and then look, we'll be on a good track to go.
Thank you very much, Nana Asase. Thank you so much for your submission. Prosper.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prosper, your final submission, so we end this.
Yeah. So thank you very much. So I think that majorly from the conversation that has ensued, the most important thing is that understanding of the difficulty that comes with being a man in itself, so that you as a woman will equally be able to, acclimatize with the expectations that are leveled up on men and know exactly where to fit yourself into. I think that the desire for the most finished product is one that unfairly places a burden on young men, and an easy way to make sure that your partner and you are in a very comfortable setup is to try to be constructive in how you engage with your partner. Be constructive in what you expect of the person. And with a little bit of consistency, everything is going to come together and it's going to end pretty well.
All right, Prosper. Thank you very much for your time today. And that was Prosper Michael Ameto, creative writer and researcher at KYB Consulting. Prosper, have a lovely morning. Nana Asase.
Yes.
Yes. So we are aware you're in Nigeria. Please, what's happening there?
Okay, so I was invited to the first Edo State Book and Arts Festival. So I'm here to represent them.
Nice. Okay.
And when is it happening? Tomorrow, today, or when?
It started on Monday.
Oh.
They are ending on Saturday and Sunday, but I'm here for just a few days.
Awesome. We know that we're well represented. You know, when Anasa says that Ghana is represented fully, and we're hoping that he had a good stay over there and come back in peace.
It's beautiful.
All right, Nana, thank you very much and have a lovely morning.
See you, Jonathan. Thanks for having me.
Right. So that was Nana Asase, who is a poet. Okay.
Prof,
Perfect.
we're going, but Prof has something he's putting together. We need to know about that as well.
Coming up.
Yes, it's all about strictly prophetic. Raw Time Ministries International is 3 years.
Oh,
and
great.
by the grace of God, we are celebrating our 3 years anniversary, you know.
Great.
And I would like to thank you all for this opportunity. Thank the producers of the show and the management for this opportunity. So come Saturday, April 29th, we are hosting Prophet Bernard L. Bernard, Nelson Nation, 9 a.m. at Vice Chancellor's Office Complex in UPSA. You know, so
The place will be flooded.
Yeah.
Why are you saying that?
The venue will be flooded.
By the grace of God, you know, so we've done a lot of publicity. So it's a 3-month thing, April 29th, May 27th, and then June 24th.
Okay.
Yes, so April 29th, this Saturday is Prophet Bernard L. Bernard. May 27th is Apostle Francis Amwakwata. And then June 24th is Prophet Emmanuel Ej. You know, and then by the grace of God, we have very powerful musicians or gospel artists also passing through. You know, we have the likes of MFA, you know, Ida, who is our lead singer. And then we have Samuel Say coming from UK. We have Alexandra Kofi Pepra, Pastor Emmett, and also Nana, you know, and then the MC for the event is Abnache Boachi. I would like to say that it's a free event.
Okay.
People are trying to, you know, say we are selling tickets. And they have started selling tickets. You know? On our behalf, it's totally free. You know, nobody's selling tickets. So this Saturday, you know, all roads lead to UPSA, the Vice Chancellor's Office Complex. You know, 9 a.m. in the morning. It's not Ghanaian time.
Yeah, this is prompt.
Strictly.
Yeah, so it's strictly prophetic. You know, the Lord is still speaking. We are coming and we are believing. The reason or the essence of this is that I believe in the prophetic. I'm a product of prophecy.
Yeah.
You know, so come and the prophet of God, Prophet Bernard L. Bernard, will surely, by the grace and mercies of God, you know, communicate the thoughts of God and then the way forward, you know, even to your life, to you as helped by the Lord. So I would like to use this opportunity to invite everybody watching us this morning, all the family and fans of Joy Prime morning show. God bless everybody. You know, this Saturday, Prophet Eckhart Daniels would like to see you. I would like to invite KMJ.
Yeah, no, you have to come. So, you know, he said something about the prophetic. And see, you can live without prophecies. And it's something that a lot of people take for granted. You know, if you've not experienced it, you've not experienced it. I've seen too many things. I've heard so many things. You understand? And so it's important that you align yourself in a way that as much as you can, you're always
like if you're aware of the plans God has for you.
Because there's a lot of things happening right now in this world, and if you're not careful, you're lost.
Right.
You know, so it's very important.
So as part of what I was saying before, I said that, you know, you need to find your purpose. It helps you prevent killable mistakes, you know, and the prophetic is able to align you into your purpose of life so that you will know even the kind of lady or the kind of gentleman not to involve yourself with, the kind of opportunities not to take, because not every open door is of God, you know. And so thank you very much, guys, for having us. If I would like to put my number out there.
Sure.
Yeah, so the ministry's number is 0244 856 983. It's not a call number, it's our WhatsApp number. So 0244 856 983. In case you need direction or further information, you can reach us on that number. God bless you all.